שוואתנים אתו תשמע סקת הדל תקשיבו התושיע שוואתנים אתו תשמע סקת הדל תקשיבו התושיע נשמת כל חי תבורך עד שמחו עדנו אלוהינו והרוח כל בוסור תפורר ותרומם זכרך מלכנו תמיד מן אלום ועד אלום התואל ומבלעוד החור אין לנו מלאך ג'ואל ומושיע בדע ומסיר ורונה ומרחם בכל עת צורו וסוכו אין לנו מלאך אין לנו מלאך אלא אותו שוואתנים אתו תשמע סקת הדל תקשיבו התושיע שוואתנים אתו תשמע סקת הדל תקשיבו התושיע
Shabbat Shalom, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shana Tova, Shana Tova,
Welcome back. Again, it is the eve of that special marathon that we're embarking on this moment. And this tune that we are tuning now is how we're tuning our instruments. So this is good for your vocal cords and for your hearts and for the whole thing. So please sing along with us this traditional tune to get us into attunement. You need to hear the person sitting next to you singing. Nine, 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 nine.
Come whoever you are, even if you've broken your vow 1,000 times. Come again. Come whoever you are, even if you've broken your vow 1,000 times. Come again. Come whoever you are, come again. Come whoever you are, come again. Come whoever you are, even if you've broken your vow 1,000 times. Come again. Come whoever you are, even if you've broken your vow 1,000 times. Come again. Come whoever you are, come again. Come whoever you are, come come again. Come, whoever you are, come again. Come, whoever you are, even if you've broken your vow 1,000 times. Come again. Come, whoever you are, even if you've broken your vow 1,000 times. Come again. Come, whoever you are, come again. Come, whoever you are, come again.
I think that if we're here tonight, we have broken a vow, which is why we're here tonight. Welcome back. Old friends, new friends, friends who are watching us online, welcome. I'm Amichai. This is Lab Shul. It is an honor to welcome all of us pilgrims on this pilgrimage to our soul. This 25 hours of going inside, alone, together, based on the old traditions with a bunch of new ones. This is not a spectator sports. This is something we're doing together as we breathe together, sing together, pray together, play together, be present with each other. We're only here to provide the lift. So let us have our hearts open and our presence here. Sing loud. We don't have prayer books. This is it. Everything is either in English or with transliteration. We think we got all of our Hebrew sorted out this time. For those of you who are with us for Rosh Hashanah, we had a glitch. This is the season of fixing. So welcome, whoever you are, however you are, however we are present. Tonight is Shabbat and also Yom Kippur. So we get to light candles for both the Sabbath and the Sabbath of Sabbaths, this Day of Atonement. However, in this building, we can't. So the candles are lit for us, but we can offer the prayer, the intention for lighting the candles. And as many of you know who've been with us in the past months, and just last week for Rosh Hashanah, a new tradition was born this past summer, this past difficult summer in Israel, when a Muslim spiritual leader, a woman, Sheikha, and a Jewish spiritual leader, a rabbi, another woman, came together as mothers to write a prayer for peace on behalf of mothers and to ask us all to light another candle on every Friday night for peace. So tonight is Shabbat, it is Yom Kippur, and it is also the beginning of Eid al-Adha, the Muslim festival of the sacrifice. Muslims and Jews and all those who love them and are with them are praying tonight. So we want to light this proverbial candle for peace together. And some of you I see were with us 60 days ago when this high holy day season began. It doesn't begin with the new year. It doesn't even begin with the month of Elul. It begins on the 9th of Av, the annual day of destruction, when we fast, not like today in penitence, but we fast in mourning for the broken temple, for the lost lives, for the exiles, for the diasporas, gone and now. So we met Lab Shul together with our friends from Romemu uptown at a funeral home on the Upper West Side to mourn together in the middle of the crisis in Israel and Gaza. And from that broken temple, this one is being built every year. We start with what's broken, and then we build together. With us that night was a teacher and mentor and dear friend and great artist, Helena Ayalon, who's here tonight again with many of her family. So I asked Helene to please read for us the prayer, the intention for lighting the candles of the mothers. And I will switch the screen so you can read it from there.
Let us light candles for peace. Two mothers, one plea. Now more than ever, during these days of so much crying, so much crying. And there it is in Hebrew and in Arabic. Let us light a candle in every home for peace, a candle to illuminate our future, face to face, a candle across borders beyond fear. From our family homes and houses of worship, let us light each other up. Let these candles be a lighthouse to our spirit until we all arrive at the sanctuary of peace. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת ויום טוב.
The rest of the peace prayer by mothers, for fathers, for all of us is in your beautiful programs that have a lot of inspirational texts, should you be bored, which I'm not hoping will happen, but for you to take with for continued presence. The candles we just lit are light and alive, and the light is being sown beyond. Look around. Everybody here is lit up with the presence of being here.
Bum bidi bum bum bidi bum bum bidi bum bum bidi bum bidi bum bidi bum bidi bum. Please bring out your basses. I need your bass voice. Bum bidi 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 bum. Bum bidi bum bidi bum bidi bum bidi bum bidi bum bidi bum. Beautiful. Jeremy, this is Jeremy. This is Jeremy's part, and he's gonna hold down that section, and you'll sing with Jeremy. You'll know you're the bomb. Second part. Namana. Everybody's gonna sing namana now. Namana. Netanel's part. You know Netanel now, so if you're on the namana, you'll be with Netanel. Namana, 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 namana. Beautiful. The third part with Katie. Where are my high singers, the high voices? Ready? Sit up straight. Here we go. This all is the voice of light singing the dark and the light. When the dark and the light mingle, and then at the top, flying lights. And it all culminates with this line of Hebrew text. Ozaru ala tzadi ulishvele simcha. Just like that, you got it. Ozaru ala there. Simcha. Sing it out. Ozaru ala tzadik u'yishrele simcha. Yeah. Ozaru ala tzadik u'yishrele simcha. All right. Bum ba da bum. Where are my bass singers? Bum biddy bum 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 bum biddy namana 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 namana
Tonight is known as Kol Nidre. It is the night of the vows, of breaking our vows so we can make new ones, annulling the ones we made so we can start again. So we want to invite you, us right now, to participate in this legal procedure. The Kol Nidre is usually recited 3 times, as legal procedures are. And we all get to be each other's tribunal, each other's court, absolving each other of the words, the promises, the high intentions, the pledges, the good things we intended, and the bad that just did not come to fruition. And tonight, those are released. So we want to release, and we want to invite you to think of what it is that you are ready to take responsibility for. One thing you said this past year, one promise. That you're ready to say, I did the best I could. Or not. But here it goes.
I release and I let go. 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 I release and I let go.
Really easy words, y'all.
I release and I let go. I release and I let go. I release and I let go.
So we're borrowing this beautiful spiritual which works so well with Kol Nidre, and we want to invite you, friends, to turn to each other at this point. This is where we get blamed for being hippie and touchy-feely. We're owning it. We want to invite you to do two things right now. First, to turn to whoever's sitting around you and just notice who it is, whether you know them well or not at all. That might mean they're all in front of you or behind you, and the exits are behind, you know that. And just spend a second on hellos, and spend a minute, but not more, on one vow that you want to share with each other, that you're willing to let go. Be each other's tribunal.
Paul, would you please take Netanel's guitar down just a little bit in this monitor? Thank you.
I release and I let go.
You ready to release?
Yes.
We have the honor of really opening our hearts right now to this traditional ritual. And one of the ways we symbolize the opening of the heart beyond cliche is opening the ark that we are honored to have borrowed yet again from our friend Toby Khan. And the Torah that we got is here. I want to invite some of the people who've worked so hard this past year, Lab Shul's first year really as a community, to make sure we're here again. So not all of our board is here, but a lot of you who are on the Storytelling Lab Shul Board of Directors who've pulled in many a long nighter. Please join us on the Bima to together open the ark in our hearts. And once the ark is open, I invite you all to, with as much elegance and decorum and yogic consciousness as you can, if you can, rise. There's lots of room on the stage, so just saying, if you guys want to join. But for now, we'll wait for Dara to make it to our stage. Welcome back. And friends, when you're ready, Renee and Liz, I think you're right in front of the ark, so open her up very gently. And I invite you to take out the Torah and take turns passing her. Shirazette, you okay there with all our friends around you? We're going to be ritualizing the Kol Nidre benediction in Aramaic 3 times. The first time, we're going to hear it, and the words will be here in front of us. The second time, we're going to be led by Netanel. And the third time, we'll sing it all together and release and let it go. בישיבה של מעלה ובישיבה של מטה על דעת המקום ועל דעת הקהל אנו מתירים להתפלל עם העבריינים.
יסרב וחרמי וקונמי וכינויי וכינוסי בתהילין ומבוטלין לא השרירין ולא קיימים נדרנה נidrei וסרנה לאסרei ושבועתנה לשבוע
Let's sing this together. Kol Nidre ve'asarei ve'acharmei ve'konamei ve'chinuyei ve'kinusei Shevut Deindrana Udeishtabana מיום כיפורים שעבר עד יום כיפורים זה כולהון איחרתנה והון כולהון יהון שרן שביקים שביתין בטלים ומבוטלים לשרירים ולקיימים נדרנה לנדרי ואסרנה לאסרי ושבועתנה לשבוע.
Release and I let go. I release and I let go. I release and I let go. I release and I let go. Close your eyes and feel the wind that is blowing. Open up your hands and sing. I am holy. I am holy.
Tonight is the holiest night of our year. It has become so, and for generations now, our people gather in sacred sanctuaries, and this one being one of them, to tap into the holy. And we are invited every year on this night, whether we're beginning a 25-hour fast or not, to enter something special that is sometimes known as the Holy of Holies. And so I want to invite us tonight, here, there, into the Holy of Holies. Right above me is one imagined depiction of what that may have looked like a long time ago. But what does it mean? What does this sacred symbol, the Holy of Holies, really mean? And what does it mean for us? 2014, here in New York City, this is art or history. There's mythology and symbolism. What's the invitation? So I want to share with you a few thoughts about that symbol that was, and about what we can do with it tonight, today. Once upon a time, once a year, the holiest person in our community would enter the holiest spot in our territory on the holiest moment of our lives. And we have a baby reminding us that really, it happens all the time. Bring her back. But that was the high priest in the temple in Jerusalem that stood for well over 1,000 years on the tallest mountain. And the high priest, a designated cleric, born into the job in most cases, considered the most holy person amongst us, would make his way through the temple. Now, what was the temple? A series of courtyards and rooms, some of them with access denied. There was where access was permitted to Gentiles and not, to women and not, to priests only, and then to the high priest only. And one chamber was off limits to all, except for that once upon a time, a year. The height of Yom Kippur, the high priest would enter the Holy of Holies. It is said with a gold chain around his ankle, held by other priests, lest he falls dead in that intimate electricity of that chamber. Now, what's inside that chamber? You can sort of see it there. A box made of wood covered in gold. Inside of it, the remnants of our contract with the Most Divine, the 10 Commandments, the broken ones, the new ones. On top of them, 2 figurines, cherubs, cheruvim. In some cases, male and male. In some cases, female and female. In some cases, male and female. Depends which source you read. Looking each other eye to eye. Complete and total intimacy. And in that gaze, is where the divine dwells, and nobody enters. So imagine the temple. There's coach, there's business, there's first, there's the cockpit, and there's the black box. Nobody messes with the black box, except the high priest, once a year, enters to press restart, to light incense, fill the place with smoke, to pray on our behalf for all that we've just annulled to be annulled, and for a new year to begin with peace, health, joy, prosperity, etc. Imagine the tension of the people standing there in the temple all day, fasting, waiting to see, will he come out okay? Will our prayers be received? Will this year begin, restart? And when he came out, we are told there was a general sigh and a big exclamation, and the fast turned to feast, and all the fear became fearlessness. And Yom Kippur was over. Atonement, at-one-ment, restart. Magic, sacred ritual. Well, we lost that because of the old strifes among our own people, we are told. Petty hates and political stuff, ego and competition. The foundations of the temple in Jerusalem rotted from inside by civic rot. And by the time the political powers that be came around, there wasn't much to do but tow it down. And so went the temple in Jerusalem, and so went Jerusalem and Judea and our exile. And 2,000 years later, hey, we are back on the land, but the temple isn't there. There might be some of you here tonight, there are certainly some in the world, who are waiting for the temple to come back, to be rebuilt on the Temple Mount, sacrifices and all. I will admit, you may have heard me say this, I am not one of those aspiring people. I think we have evolved. We have learned how to worship, how to be in different ways that don't celebrate animal sacrifice and a male-only hierarchy of who is holy and what is not. But we lost some of the magic, some of the ritual. Imagine living in a society, in a country, where you know where the sacred chamber is, where you have a sense of the divine dwelling, accessible, if only by one representative, whose job it is to go in there, get that black box, that soul of souls, and hit restart for us. What would that feel like? We lost it. It is no longer in space. But it does exist, the Holy of Holies. It's here tonight. It exists in time. Yom Kippur has become our invitation with our imagination to enter the Holy of Holies. But the question is, beyond pretty words, why and how do we do that? So I want to share with you a story that happened to me this past summer that taught me, surprisingly, I must say, about what and how and why the Holy of Holies. I am taking you to Brazil. Later. I had the honor this past summer of being in Sao Paulo, teaching a beautiful Jewish community and sharing with them their celebrations and Shabbat. And as soon as I got off a plane, I said to the Rabbi Adrian Gottfried, lovely man, I heard there's a new temple in your town, the Temple of Solomon, and I want to go. Oh, he said, the Temple of Solomon. He can say it in Brazilian, in Portuguese, which I can't. It just inaugurated last week. Yes, I said, I know, I saw it, I need to go. So this is the Temple of Solomon. It's in the middle of a working class neighborhood in Brazil. It is as big as it looks, my friends, and bigger. It is built on the dimensions of Solomon's temple in Jerusalem 3,000 years ago, only much bigger. Real estate friends in the house, we can talk about it later. Imagine this in New York City. Just kidding. This is ginormous. It is the official church of the Church of the Kingdom of God, a Pentecostal church that began in Brazil, I think about 15 years ago, has grown enormously with, I think, about 12 million worshipers and members worldwide, especially in Brazil. It might be 21. Anyway, it's a lot of people. And they just built this. A lot of money from everybody together. There's controversy, always is. Never mind right now. I was thrilled to be invited for a walk, a tour of the temple, guided by a lovely, lovely man, Bishop Miguel, who took me and Rabbi Adrian around. Bishop Miguel spent a year in Israel. He had great Hebrew. They love Israel. They love the Jews. They love the Bible, clearly. And he was so excited to show us around. We saw it all. The main sanctuary fits 10,000 people at a time, and 10,000 people show up every day from all over Brazil and the world to worship. In the courtyard, there's a life-size model of the tabernacle, the Mishkan, dimensions accurate to the Bible. And we got to walk in and open the cloth curtain, and there is the life-size altar, whoa, and the menorah, and like the whole thing. And then there's this chamber at the end with beautiful curtains. Lots of photos on my blog and LabShul blog if you want to see. I wrote about it back in August. And a guy comes out of it wearing the high priestly outfit, like the white thing and the breast, and I'm like, handsome guy. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, it's one of our priests. We're also guides. We're taking pilgrims around. And he said, do you want to go into the Holy of Holies? I said, I haven't immersed in a mikveh. Oh, whatever, Wanda? He said, come. And he lets me in. It's not a big chamber. I was going to put more photos up, but I figured less is more. And there is an ark in there made of bronze with cherubim and copies of the Ten Commandments inside. And he's like, this is the Holy of Holies. And when people come here, penitents, pilgrims, the ones who are really ready enter. And this is where they have an alone moment. This is where they pray to be reborn, to start again. And most of who comes to us are people who are dealing with addiction, with illness, with poverty, people who are on their knees for change. That is what we do. On the way into the temple, as we waited, I saw a young man, maybe 17, in soccer clothes, holding a bag with a soccer ball, and in the other hand, what I later learned out was the printout of the invite to come to the temple, on his knees on the stairs of the temple, weeping for the chance to enter. Inside the sanctuary itself, 10,000 people strong, there's another Holy of Holies. It's behind the curtains on the stage, and you can see the cherubim, the gigantic, and only the ones who are really ready get to go behind the curtain into a ritual bath, a mikveh. Gigantic, gold, stunning, where they get to immerse, talk about Mayim Chaim, and come up reborn, baptized, ready to live again. In Sao Paulo, I learned about the Holy of Holies. It is not, in my opinion, a place. And even Bishop Miguel told us this is not about the place. It's a reminder for people how to enter the Holy of Holies inside. It's not a place. And it is in time. But more than place and time, it is somewhere within. And that's the invitation tonight. And it's radical. I was lucky to share these thoughts earlier with Netanel, a dear friend who's here from Israel. Sadly, he's leaving on Sunday, but we'll be back soon. And Netanel said, oh, what you're talking about, there's a pasuk, there's a verse in the Psalms. Vaitosh mishkan Shilo ohel shiken ba'adam. God forsook the tabernacle of Shiloh, and the tent which was made became a dwelling among people. There was a moment in our history where even God understood that our faith is not about geography, where one spot is holier than others. And the sanctuary, the Holy of Holies, became something in our hearts. The Holy of Holies is something Rabbi Kook wrote about, the first chief rabbi of Palestine, Israel, who we taught about on Rosh Hashanah, as he was one of the pioneers of the Shemitah year, the sabbatical year that we just began. And he says the following: the Holy of Holies is the foundation of all. It is the source of sources, Yesod HaYesodot. It is above all that is named, above all attributes and known things. It is beyond logic, beyond sense. It is beyond sacred. It is above the mundane. It transcends them both. The Holy of Holies is where the sacred and the mundane and the secular emerge from and are revealed as one. So we have a black box, each one of us, inside us. It's the place that keeps our vows and our regrets, every honest moment you had this past year that you are proud about, and every crumb of shame inside our black box. And the invitation on Yom Kippur, like the high priest, is to enter face to face with self, eye to eye, like the cherubim, eye to eye. This is self-work, even though we're doing it together. The invitation is to enter at some point, for one moment. We are holding each other's golden chains together, that chamber within. It's an invitation. It is not a command. Not everybody wants to do it. Not everybody can do it. But we're all invited to find a way to enter our Holy of Holies and remember something magnificent and simple and radical. That we, every single one of us, is already holy. Seems simple, right? But not. Holy includes Maria Fernandez, who died at the age of 32 a month ago in her car while the fumes were on, in between 3 jobs at Dunkin' Donuts in New Jersey. A victim of minimum wage and just a little lesser human dignity than she deserved. She too was holy. Holy like the beautiful senior